Hello, everybody! Welcome back to our Note to Self podcast. So, for this episode, it will be one of our special episodes for this semester. So, as you all know, we have this special episodes where we invite guest speakers on the pod. And right now, I have my guest speakers. They are from SWE, which you will be getting to know them a little bit more later. But let me introduce myself first, and they will introduce who they are. So my name is Jai. I'm a psychology major and I'm a student wellness ambassador. And how about you guys?
So hi, I'm Susana. I also go by Susie. I am the SWE's publicist, and then I'm also pretty involved on campus with other stuff. So I'm the co-president of MECHA, and I also work at the Multicultural Student Center.
Hi everybody, my name is Sumha. I am a mechanical engineering major here at Ohlone, and I am SWE's president.
Hi guys, my name is Alya. I am an aerospace engineering major on campus, and I am SWE's vice president, and then the Associated Students of Ohlone College, so our student government, their vice president.
Okay, slay guys. So before we start, let's make this a little bit fun by kicking off our episodes with a would you rather question. That sounds very interesting. So our would you rather questions is kind of related to the things that we're gonna talk about and to SWE. So okay, so do you guys know how to play would you rather? You're just basically gonna pick one option out of the two options. Okay, so first question. Would you rather retake physics or calc? It seems like a hard decision.
You want to go first?
Oh! I'll say calc, just because I liked calc better. And so if you don't retake physics, then you're just done with physics.
That's true. I think if your goal is to learn more, I'd say retake physics.
Okay.
Great point. I would rather retake calc. I think I like calc better as a subject, so it'd be fun.
Okay. Okay, perfect, you guys. And next, would you rather spend the day in a class or in a conference?
I'll go definitely at a conference. We do go on conferences as a club, so those are really great experiences for us.
Okay. Would you rather sleep 4 hours and take 1 year at Ohlone, or sleep 8 hours but stay for 3 years at Ohlone?
I like sleeping. I'd rather do 3 years.
You would rather do
three.
3. I feel like I would rather do 3 years.
Sleep is important.
Also, like you wouldn't cut down your lifespan, so like you
Exactly. Okay, next, last question. Would you rather only use a calculator or use a paper or pen for math?
Calculator.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So do you guys often use like pens or papers? No.
I mean, we do.
You guys both use iPads. I use
Yeah.
notebooks more often. Yeah.
iPads are nice.
Okay, thank you guys for chiming into our little fun Would You Rather. With that, in today's episode, we would be talking about a club on campus that creates impact at Ohlone. So they're called SWE. Their club purpose is basically representing women in STEM, but they will be talking more about it later. So the whole episode, we will be tackling about women underrepresented in STEM and how it kind of is related to mental health. How they feel being women in STEM, as we all know that STEM field or STEM careers are dominated by men. So we will be sharing more about it in a bit. So, yeah, guys, can you guys explain to our audience what the SWE is? What is your club purpose, activities that you do on campus, and the target populations that you kind of like target around campus?
So our main purpose as a club is to uplift women in STEM, women in engineering. We do that by hosting technical and soft skill workshops. So soft skills would be like communication, leadership, teamwork, that kind of stuff. And our technical would be like the soldering workshop is very popular, CAD design, stuff like that.
And then to get into our targeted population, obviously SWE stands for the Society of Women Engineers,
Mm-hmm.
but you don't have to be a woman to join or identify as a femme. You could be an ally, and I think allies are honestly a significant part of our population, depending on what workshop we're targeting. But yeah, anybody who is for the message of, I don't know,
Equity.
Yeah, in STEM, which is a career that can unfortunately sometimes be so like hamster wheel that it likes to push you out of it. But yeah, so we're here for the opposite of that, making everybody feel included.
And then some of the SWE activities that we do around campus, so we have our weekly meetings, and so it'll change every semester and maybe even like every year. So during those, we have a lot of different discussions. So for example, this week we're hosting the colors of STEM, and so it's trying to figure out and talk about, open up the discussion of intersectionality of an LGBTQ plus student who is also pursuing a STEM career. And then throughout the month, we also do different things. So for example, we had Formula O, which was like a year-long project. And so different teams and different clubs were able to participate and build from scratch an RC car to be able to collaborate and actually compete in a little race. And then we also have like the Women in STEM Mentoring Dinner, which is, I would say, Bay Area wide. So we invite different mentors from the Bay Area and students that are different community colleges to actually come together, have dinner with us here at Ohlone College, and then it's like a little networking opportunity just to celebrate Women's History Month. And then we also have like different activities throughout. So for example, we had like the Tea Party, which is again in celebration of Women's History Month, along with Earth Day collaboration and different soldering workshops like mentioned.
Yeah, thank you guys for sharing what does your club do. And yeah, I often see them on campus. Like I know their STEM mentorship is really popular, and congratulations for all the success in your club. Moving forward, so since you are people in STEM or like women in STEM, I want to get more into like what is your perspective or what does your journey as women in STEM look like? What are the challenges and success or like challenges and strengths that you faced in your journey?
So one of the biggest challenges that a lot of women in STEM talk about is the male dominance, of course. So finding your community, finding your space to feel comfortable and feel welcomed in STEM is a very hard thing to do. That's number one. And then number two is the subject itself is hard. There's, the math, physics, chemistry, like all these courses that you have to take, and for Ohlone's sake, it's like to transfer, not even to get your bachelor's degree yet. It's just to transfer out. So I'd say those are like the two biggest things that I can think of. And there's a lot more to being a woman. And let me see how I can phrase this. Like, woman is not the only thing we are, right?
Yeah.
Like, we have our culture, religion, our friends, family, the way we're interacting with the world. Yeah, we're multifaceted people, right? So there's also issues that come with that as well.
And I would also just look at the word journey, because like I think of like Lord of the Rings, you know what I mean? You're constantly, we finished one thing, but then there's another.
Yeah.
And I think like that's pretty symbolic, there we go, to how it is if you're choosing a STEM career, because I think there are so many obstacles that the three of us have run into just in our first 3 years. But continuing past that, I imagine once I hopefully get that job, that like, wait, I want to redo that. I imagine that once I enter industry and stuff, that there will be even more, problems and things. Like you hear about, workplace problems, maybe you get talked over in a meeting, but also like, if you want to embrace motherhood, and I think about how the career, again, like it, especially in the Bay Area, especially in Silicon Valley, you just want to work, the like less sleep, more productivity, pushing things out constantly, but that can be harmful for you. And so I think that's also why it's so relatable to the concept of mental health and stuff. So I think the journey is not always knowing the answer, but it's especially important to find mentors and people who can, like, guide you, who are in your shoes or are currently with you. And so that's also why SWE is so important to me.
And I think just to piggyback off of that, I mean, that's why we do, like, the Women in STEM Mentoring Dinner.
Yeah.
And that's why, like, SWE is such an important pillar in that journey for women who are pursuing degrees in STEM. And so I think it's nice, I'm struggling, they're struggling, and we're struggled together.
Perfect. Yes, like you need a buddy to struggle.
Yeah,
you need like a team of people, and I often see like like women are kind of like under, what do you call it? They're like underrepresented,
Yeah.
or like they're kind of like, STEM, you're like engineers, it's like a male dominated field, like we don't need women, like that's not all, that's not it, like hello, we live in a modern world nowadays, and you did not downgrade women. Yes. Period. With that, I am curious, so what do you guys think? What's your opinion? What's your thoughts about the people, or like not people, the female protagonists in sci-fi movies? So, what is your take? Is the portrayal really accurate? Not accurate?
Hold me back. I have stuff to say.
Do you guys have like a really thought on it?
Okay, I don't have like a visceral like, oh my god, I can't believe there's a female protagonist in a sci-fi movie. But I just think it's like a consistent representation
Mm-hmm.
that I think is a little frustrating. That representation, correct me if I'm wrong or correct me if it's not something that you guys see. It's like they're always like born smart and they eat, breathe, sleep STEM, and they don't have much dimensionality to them. I don't think that's a word. Dimension to them. And they also I would say are I would say like masculine in the way they present themselves, in the sense that they don't entirely embrace femininity. Obviously, there's so many ways to display femininity, but I think that there's like a specific I'm not like the rest of them kind of, you know what I mean? So, I would say the reason why I feel like that's so frustrating when you see that all the time is that it displays STEM as masculine as the standard. You know what I mean? Because if you want to be a woman in that field, you have to convert to,
Like, you can't be feminine and be in STEM at the same
That's
time.
crazy.
So you have to pick
you
one.
have to, you know? And I would say the second thing is like that has effects on STEM, because when you see, you know what I mean? You see this constantly, think, okay, STEM is that way, or that you can't struggle and find STEM, like what Susana was talking about, that we all struggle together, and that's something that's like the coolest part of SWE for us. Like that this is a space where like you can come into SWE and you can complain about, hey, I'm struggling a little bit in my engineering classes, or I had to retake a class, and it's not a crazy concept. Whereas I feel like in your in those classes, sometimes struggling isn't something that people like to talk about, or it's hard to find that camaraderie. But when you see these like constant portrayals, it's like, oh, it was really easy for them. And if you want to be a minority or a woman pursuing that, then like you should just be born with it. It should just be really easy for you.
But you're not.
Alas.
Yeah. And then also movies always have like that climax. So it's always like
Yeah.
that epiphany, like, oh, and now it's all perfect. But it's like that's
That's
not
not how
true.
that works.
It
That's
can
true.
never be true. I mean, if it was, there wouldn't be a need for SWE, right?
Yeah.
It was like perfect. And so I lost my train of thought.
No, but I like that because it's like, sorry.
Go on.
Because like you're right, like it's not just one hill. Unfortunately, it's a lot of. Or it's not one mountain. It's a lot of hills. You know what I mean? You keep going.
I remember, yeah. And even if it's like, even if it's like, okay, like we pass physics, yay, the movie ends. But like for us in real life, it's like, okay, on to the next. Like
Yeah.
we're never
There are
gonna
3
be...
physics classes.
Yeah,
That's a
like more
trilogy.
than that. Yeah, like it's not like okay, when I do this, it's over. Like you
Yeah.
get a career. That's like more to that. And
Exactly. And so it's also like, even as women, like it's not just the one obstacle of like, okay, and now I'm the manager and that's it. And no, it's
Yeah.
like, no, like now there's other managers that you're gonna be also battling against. And then
Yeah.
like, what if you want to be like, you
Yeah.
know, or like now I want to be the CEO of something.
Yeah.
Like we're always gonna want to keep growing and learning.
Yeah.
And so in a movie, the climax, there's just one problem that they're trying
There's
to
no
fix.
dimension.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, I can really feel the strong sense of thoughts and opinions regarding sci-fi movies with female protagonists. Moving forward, this is kind of tying back now to mental health. So yeah, I know you guys take a lot of subjects. It must have been tiring. Like I keep on telling my friends who are like in the STEM field that are also women. Shout out my bestie. She's like an industrial engineering major.
Hey.
And she was like, "Oh my god, I'm so tired." So like, I'm curious, what are the main courses that you take as a STEM student or STEM major, and how does this like give a toll on your mental health? How does this affect your mental health? Like, is it going downhill, uphill, midhill?
All the hills.
All the hills.
Somewhere in California.
But yeah, as I was saying earlier, you do have to take a lot of STEM classes, and that means like pretty much all of the math at Ohlone, you take all of it, and then chemistry, you take a couple depending on what major of engineering you're a part of, and then most engineers, I think all of them take all 3 physics courses, so that's 140, 141, and 142. So.
Even CS majors, which is crazy to me. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I couldn't imagine.
And then a lot of engineering courses as well. And you gotta take all your GEs if you wanna finish.
Associates.
Yeah, and get your certification. I Calgetsy, something like that.
The new one's Calgetsy.
Yeah.
But yeah, there aren't a lot of classes. Depending on what math you start from when you come to Ohlone, it also like changes how long you stay here for. So for me, I started with pre-calculus, so I had to go through pre-calc, which is 2 different classes, then calc 1, 2, 3, differential equations, linear algebra. So, takes a while.
Some engineering majors also have to take statistics classes, I believe. I'm not sure. Or at least data science has too and stuff like that. And then, there's a lot.
So how does this toll on your mental health? How does this affect your mental health?
It's hard when you're, or for me personally, the way I've pushed against the subject, especially math. When I was coming to Ohlone initially, I was like, I'm not going to be an engineer. I don't know any math. I'm not good at that stuff. But so getting over that, hey, I'm not going to be good at math the first time. I'm not going to be one of those straight A students, and that's okay because I like the process of learning these things, and it takes time to get over that. And then, it's not just one hill. You keep going over it again and again because you keep meeting people in your classes who
Speed bumps.
Straight A students.
Yes.
So.
I would also say, Sumha talks a lot about the emotion. I talk like an author, you know what I mean? In this book, sorry. You talk a lot about the emotional speed bumps, emotional mental health consequences, But I also think physically, you gotta cut down on your sleep. You can't, or I would say I know people who sacrifice gym time, sleep time, one of those things, work time. It's hard. I think all of us job. I have first.
I have first.
All of us job, and so that can be hard. For a while, I was double majoring at Chabot because I was like, I don't want to burn out, so therefore I'm going to do things that make me happy that also connect to engineering. So I was doing welding, and I did a certification there, and then auto tech, and I'm working towards a certification there. But turns out when you double major, that's double the work. So we're getting there. But I would say there's just a lot of sacrifices that you have to make. One of those can also be taking more years at Ohlone. A lot of my friends in my second year transferred after that. 2 years is pretty normal because you see community colleges freshman and sophomore years, and then you transfer and you do your junior and senior years there. But it's very common for STEM students at community college to take longer, and so you're in your 4th year, we're in our 3rd years, and that's something that we've normalized. I would say something that we do to counter the stigmas and mental health consequences is have a community like SWE, because we normalize taking good time, you know what I mean, and finding a community that will. We have to cut this. I don't know what I was saying. Maybe we want to talk about SWE. I don't know.
Sure. I was going to talk about my personal experience, because I think before I was involved with SWE, I had this perfect 2-year plan. I will be out of here in a jiff. No worries. I'll pass everything with flying colors.
Me too.
And then after the first class that I stumbled upon, which was
Physics.
Me too.
And then I had to withdraw it. I was distraught, and it was to the point where I didn't want to work. I didn't want to join any extracurriculars. I was I hate Ohlone. I hate my major. I'm changing majors. I was no, screw this. This is not for me.
Yeah.
And then it got to the point where I was looking at everyone around me in SWE, and I was wait, you failed, we failed, but you guys are thriving, and you guys are doing it still, and you guys tackled it again, and you passed it. And so I was so why is it different for me? And it really is this whole stigma of, oh, this is your 3rd year, oh, this is your 4th year, but it doesn't matter, who cares? It's your own journey at the end of the day. And everyone learns differently. Everyone has to fail X amount of times to be able to actually learn the lesson that they were supposed to.
Yeah.
And so at this point, it's just it is what it is, And in the SWE community, we've learned it's okay if you fail. It's okay. It doesn't matter how many years you have to be here. It doesn't matter how many times you have to retake it. It doesn't matter what things that you have to do so that you're like okay with being here for X amount of time, right? So for example, Alya did welding. I'm at the MSc all the time, and for me that's like my downtime. You know, it's still work. I'm getting paid, and it's still a lot of like actual time that it takes out of maybe like academics, but it's fun, and for me it's like my way to de-stress and actually like take care of myself and celebrate different cultures.
Yay, guys. Tying back, so with I heard like you guys are doing a lot of things. Like I couldn't imagine. So how do you guys manage your time?
This is a good question.
This is a good. Do you have that?
I think it goes into what Alya was saying earlier about sacrifices.
Yeah, big time.
You gotta pick and choose. You cannot do everything, and no one in the world is doing everything they've ever dreamed of. Like, of course, there is no perfect world like we were talking about. You gotta pick and choose what your priorities are. So my priority is learning from the classes that I'm doing. I know it's really hard, and like C's get degrees and all that, but I actually want to know what I'm doing, like, and these will apply later.
No
like,
ChatGPT. Figure it out.
No ChatGPT. I'm gonna use my own brain, and it's gonna be so worth it down the line. Right, guys? Right?
Right.
Okay. I would say me and time are like, constantly.
Yes, I can see that in Alya.
You're like, yeah, I know that about you. No, I would say instead of, because I tried to time block. I tell Sumha all the time about, like, my journey with time blocking. Is it working? Is it not working? Like, the night before, I'll be like, I will wake up at 5 a.m. And, like, you know, plan every single, I don't know, hour out. And sometimes it works. And then sometimes it'll hit, like, 11 a.m. And then it just stops working because, like, I spent too much time eating breakfast. And then all of a sudden, dang it, I can't, you know what I mean? So
yes, I get that.
Right? Like, I would say for me, what helps instead of, like, I've acknowledged I can't control time. I can't control that sometimes things will take me longer. And also, what were we talking about yesterday in the car was, like, I'm gonna say it. It was, a village.
It takes a village.
Yeah, inconvenience is the price of a village? No.
Okay, I don't know the exact quote, but the point was that you cannot build yourself a community without getting inconvenienced in tiny ways. Like, oh no, it'll take time out of my day to go to someone's birthday party, but I want to go there because I want to support you and know that I'm here for you and you'll be here for me.
Inconvenience is the price of community.
There you go.
So, like, yeah. And so, I would say I have built a significant I don't know why. I have built a community, and sometimes contributing to that can be at my demise. I don't know how to say it. Like, basically, like,
yes, it'll take time out of my academics. Like, I won't have this little study time if I go out for lunch with you, but I want to be there for you.
Yeah.
Like, the whole point is for us to lift each other up and support each other through our academics.
And also that pays off later on, because let's say someone's at their low point and I spend however much time, you know, helping them out, then when I hit my low point, they will also help me out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I would say finding things that, like, help. Like Susana was talking about the MSc and the community over there. For me, I think, like, connecting with my faith has been really helpful. I use the prayer space up here all the time, and, like, especially with between classes and stuff, like, I think it's so helpful to have a space like this. So shout out Step Up.
Yes.
But also just, like, I don't know, finding things that help you de-stress. Yeah, that's big for me.
And I'd feel like some of the classes that we take, like, the professors, like, no hate to any of them, but, like, in some of them, like, they're kind of contradicting themselves, because they're like, oh yeah, like, you need to have a life, but then in the syllabus it's like, if you're not eating, sleeping, and breathing this subject, you're gonna fail. Like, you know what I mean? It's like that
contradiction.
Yeah, and it's like, we know we're teens, we're young adults, we're barely moving out, we're exploring, we're trying to figure out what we actually like to do with our downtime. And then at the end of the day, like, sure, we're going to get that degree, and in 4 years, we're going to get that job. But then what are you going to do when you're off the clock at 5 p.m.?
Yeah.
Right? So it's like, that's why it's so important to actually build those communities now. and make sure that they actually stick with you, they're actually uplifting you, and they're actually there when there's budget cuts and you no longer have a job, or you have an extra room in your apartment and your friend needs to lease it, and they're gonna remember that down the line, right? So it's like it goes back to like it really like you have to sacrifice it, and I feel like it's so hard when you're like, oh shoot, I got a midterm in a week, right?
Wait, because can we talk about? Okay, I know this is such a big tangent. Okay, but basically, oh my god, we were talking about this too. Listen, the idea that okay, I'm gonna explain it. It's gonna sound weird, and then we're gonna build to it. Like, oh, that's why she's mentioned. Okay, okay, you know those memes that are like engineering majors when they talk about ethics, but then they get an internship at Lockheed Martin.
Oh, yeah.
The reason I'm mentioning this is I think engineering, it sucks the humanity out of you sometimes if you let it. To the point where a professor will be like, "Have a good weekend, guys," and you'll be like, "Me, good weekend? I'm gonna be studying all weekend. I'm talking about." But I think if you don't prioritize your humanity, the things that you're interested in, building those kinds of things, you forget why you are that's why burnout is so easy. You're gonna enter industry and you're gonna be like, do I even want to do this? And sometimes that's why, look, I love the Bay, but I also feel like this Silicon Valley does this to you, where they just want you to be a perfect lab rat. That's not the right word. They want you to be a perfect
cog in the machine.
Employee?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You are my elite employee. They want you to be like a cog in the machine, where you just kind of okay. Boss said to CAD a paper airplane. I'm gonna do that. That doesn't make sense. Anyway, you just you fall into normalcy, but I think when you were like a little 5-year-old playing with your Legos, you were like, I'm gonna build an Empire State Building Part 2. You had all these ideas, and that dies when you don't have. I'm sorry, I'm yelling. That's probably really loud.
It's okay.
That dies. It just tends to die when you I don't know what I was saying. Hold on. Was I cooking? Chat, was I cooking?
That's why you gotta invest in your hobbies.
Yes.
Yeah.
It dies when you don't.
That's what I like to do. I like to do art. I like to paint and draw and stuff. And I'm starting to get into henna designs too.
She's so good at it. She does my henna. She's my plug.
But it's also hard to balance that in school at the same time. So you gotta make your time. You gotta force it. In my schedule, since I do check-ins with my officers every now and then, I also I have a scheduling app that I use for it, and then I make sure to block out times that I'm not available because. And they don't know this, but it's to do my hobbies and to do things that I like to do because I cannot be available all the time. And that's something you gotta sacrifice. Make time for yourself.
And I feel like it goes back to the whole intersectionality, because yes, we're in STEM, yes, we're women, but we are also artists, we're dancers, we're leaders, we sisters,
mothers, whatever.
All of it.
All of it. You guys have a life
outside of apologize for having to do chores, and it's no,
it's
your job, your family unit,
Yes. I feel like some people also neglect the fact that you have a life outside of academics and stuff, outside of becoming an engineer or whatnot. But thank you guys for sharing. I really learned a lot from all of you, and I really learned a lot of how you are as engineering majors, because I'm personally not a STEM major. I would die if I would be one. That's how bad my brain is.
You're doing psych. Don't sleep on that.
I'm doing psych, so that's kind of is a science.
I hate to go on a tangent real fast, but I don't how do I phrase what I'm saying here? STEM and non-STEM majors are both really important. I think there's no the STEM majors are not anything. They're just
I hate that when people are it'll all be at an event, right? And we host on campus. Period. We have an amazing campus to host event. Anyway, they'll be like, okay, what's your major? And I'll be like, engineering. They'll be like, wow, what kind? All these questions. But a second ago, they asked someone who maybe said, I don't know,
business.
Yeah, business, poli-sci, whatever. And they'll be like, oh, what's your major? You know what I mean?
There's a conversation.
Justice for poli-sci, mate. Justice for I don't know.
Yeah. And when I hear someone say psychology, I'm like, oh wow, I love psychology. Let's talk about it some more.
Also because whenever there's STEM majors, I feel like a lot of them are well, I did it for the paycheck or because my mom told me to. Yeah. But when there's psych majors or there's they're business majors, they have reasons. They have, I want to talk to you about those, not the money you're gonna make. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Thank you guys. This is really funny. But thank you guys for sharing. And I do really appreciate you for being in our podcast. And I, like what I've mentioned, kudos to you. I know you guys are taking more sciences than I take more sciences, but like I love my major. My love for my
Period.
major
That's
is
what
period.
matters.
It's insane. And so before we end this episode, we want to like leave the audience with one note to self message. So it's basically what do you want to like leave to your audience? Okay, I would start first. No matter what major you are, no matter where you are in life, know how to take pauses. We keep on telling you this on like for like the past podcasts that we have and like take pauses. Like take pauses, take the time that you need, and like what they've said like if you're a community college student or even if you're like uh a UC or a CSU student, you kind of and you feel like you need more time in studying and you need more than 4 years to study. Like don't be afraid to do that. Like don't be afraid to take more on years if you feel like you need more years to like learn and develop yourself professionally.
Everyone's path is unique. Yeah.
Yes. How about you guys?
Dora.
I would say that it's okay to plan what classes you want to take. It's okay to plan how many years you're going to be here. It's okay to plan what extracurriculars you're going to be involved in. But at the end of the day, if something goes off the rails,
Don't crash out.
yeah, it's okay. It happens to all of us. It will eventually happen. Maybe not while you're in college. It will happen eventually. It's a part of life. We fail. But the important thing is that you always come back up from that. You learn from it. You learn from your mistakes. You figure out what went wrong, how you can improve the next time.
That's what engineering is all about.
Yes. So maybe be engineers now. Do whatever makes you happy.
I was gonna say this earlier, but I forgot. Like you never fail until you give up. If you
That's a good one.
fail a class, you don't fail that class unless you've given up completely. You know what I'm saying? Like if you come back and say, I'm gonna retake the class, I'm gonna do better, I'm gonna learn from my mistakes, you have not given up. You've not
Even replace the F on your transcript, so you didn't even fail in the first
There's
place.
not
Yeah.
even there.
Y'all know. Did I drop a pillow?
Do you have more to say something?
Yeah.
No. Do you want to do your message?
Or not?
I can go.
Okay.
I'd say my note to self would be find your authentic self. I think that's really, really important because if you are not yourself when you present yourself to other people, it's not going to end well. It does not.
You always feel like
Translate.
you're hiding yourself.
You always feel like you're hiding yourself, and it's hard to keep up that facade, right? Just find yourself, be authentic to yourself. Your people will find you. Your community will come to you, and I know that's not like a straight path. It will be squiggly, will be ups and downs, will be speed bumps, but we'll get there. It does get better.
My note to self would be two things. Part A is have your non-negotiables. That's similar to Sumha. Like the way that you present yourself. The reason that we have gone so far as a society, as a community, because when we laid down the laws, laid down rules or whatever, people weren't equal. We didn't treat each other with the values that we hope to treat each other with today. So, my point in saying this is like, oh my god, I did not say that right. My point is, okay, fine. Nah, I didn't say it. Wait,
Just restart.
because basically what I want to say is like, social justice and engineering are combined for a reason. The way we got so far is because we didn't hide our
True self.
Yeah, our true self is
It's
who
the
we are.
existence is resistance.
Existence. Okay.
Take that.
Mine, only mine. No, I'm kidding. I say my takeaway is to remember that existence is inherently resistance. Because think of the Crown Act. Think of, I don't know, all these things that when people didn't compromise who they were, how they are as people, I don't know, your identity, your culture, whatever it is that you celebrate, that you express yourself as, whenever people don't compromise that and they find mentors who can guide them to embracing that, and they can find communities around them, that's why I'm plugging SWE, that can help them through that, then we get progression as a society. And I also think that engineering is inherently reliant upon that. When you stick with society as it is and you're like, well, gas cars, that's the best we can get. But then if you're thinking, oh my god, the sun, we could use solar energy one day, and you keep thinking, and you have people who are like, will not use gas cars, or like, this is such a stupid, sorry, I shouldn't have said that. But like you have people who will work to you to like.
It's right.
Wait, I'm finished cooking chat.
Finish the sentence.
I don't know. And you find people around you
Mhm.
who can.
Who can help you?
Why did you who can embrace
Okay, wait.
your embrace?
Okay, wait. And you find people. Hold on.
Find your people.
Yeah, and you find your people who are able to support you and who can also like, I don't know, be your yes man in a meeting, right? Because sometimes in a meeting, pitching an idea can be like, but if you have people who are able to support you, can be extremely helpful. The point with that was saying,
Stick to your truth.
yes, stick to your truth. Innovation will follow, and that's what engineering is all about. Banger.
Yeah.
Banger.
Okay, guys. Before we end our episode, do you guys want to like plug anything, any upcoming events for SWE?
Yes.
Follow our Instagram, which is
SWE Alone.
Yes.
at SWEOHLONE. SWEOHLONE. Period.
We also have a Discord server there too, so you can join that.
Yeah, our links in the
Yes.
bio.
We have a soldering workshop coming up. That's all of these events are free for anybody to come in. You don't have to RSVP or anything in advance. We've got
This is
our
our
Finding Our Way as a Woman in STEM. For those of you who are struggling to take your space, the Earth Day collaboration happening
The 23rd.
on the 23rd, 22nd. That week.
That week.
22nd.
Period.
Thanks.
That's what I said actually.
Soldering workshop is on April 30th. We are in the MSC from 4 to 5 p.m. most times. But again, there's always our Instagram to keep up with our latest updates.
Yes.
And also officer applications are open. They will close soon though.
You should
so
apply.
You should apply.
DM us if interested because we have a due date on our post. This episode may or may not be out before or after that time, but we will still
The worst anyone can say is no. Just
Yeah.
reach out anyway.
yeah, we want you. I should have said that.
We want you. I love that ending. Okay, guys, thank you all for coming to the pod, and I hope you've learned a lot from SWE, and I hope you guys, if you guys are like, if you want to pull up to their events, and you can find a new community and new friends, a new place on campus. And thank you all for watching. We'll see you on our next podcast episode. Bye.